All right, so we might have a couple other people logging in. We're going to use resistance bands today. So just kind of to go over that again for if you didn't hear the first time. If you don't have resistance bands at home, because I don't know what you guys are equipped with at home, you can use weights or just work on the movements that way you do with them, okay?
Yeah.
And what's your name? Bill and Jane. We have a Dan and Jane.
Maybe you get like,
Remember
in
Dan
April
and
you get.
Jane?
There you go. Scott is air day. No, Tarzan.
We lived in England for a couple of years.
In the bush.
Oh, yeah.
Our house is 450 years old.
Isn't it amazing?
That was made out of old timbers that were like 100 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they made it, yeah.
That's the difference.
So there's Tarzan with Kathy there.
You'll warm up quick though.
Yeah.
And it was all standing.
Well, yeah.
All right, we're gonna get going here in a few minutes. So you guys can start moving your feet. If you don't have a resistance band yet, go ahead and grab one. They go from the easier version with the yellow all the way up to the most difficult on the left there with the purple and red.
But you have more than two windows in the front of your house, so your taxes will find very hot.
And we're just gonna start moving our feet, get the full body moving.
Never worked about that. Well, the barn on like down
As we start to march, we get our arms moving a little bit. Got a couple more people to add on here. Yeah. All right.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Oh, I need tax assessors. I didn't.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I don't have mine.
All right, we're moving our feet. We've got our resistance bands for today. Looks like everybody's got a chair, so we'll probably do seated cool downs. For the workout, the chair will be optional. I don't think there's any that require seating. It's always nice to have. I was explaining to these guys earlier, my cool downs, I think, are a little better when I have a seated option. Phone is having some difficulties this morning. Let's get some arm movements in here. So you can do big arm circles. Moving the shoulder joints here. So with the resistance bands today, I've used them a lot with my own exercise. I've never actually taught a class. So if I'm doing something that you're like, Kathy didn't do it this way, or Nate didn't do it this way, just let me know. Yeah, we gotta mix it up a little bit. I gotta get out of my comfort zone with the weights a little bit more. Walk here. Well, just do the arm circle then. There you go. All right, let's bring them around the front and open them up. Start to stretch the muscles in the front of the chest here. Oops, sorry. You gotta watch out not to hit your neighbors here. Definitely not on purpose anyway. All right.
It's a love.
It's loud. There you go. My partner comes to my yoga class and I give him a hard time, and somebody said something to me one day. I was like, oh no, he lives with me, I'm allowed. And they're like, oh, okay, I got it. All right, so back to a good march here. We'll pick up the knees a little bit higher, start to work the hip flexors here. And then let's bring it into a heel tap in front. And then we're gonna bring it into a toe tap behind us.
Does it matter which arm is doing what when you do these things?
No,
Because I always feel
I
like,
always move the opposite one because I feel like that's better for balance, but we're just getting the body moving right now. Talk to me about coordination, I'm probably not the one to talk to.
that waves half my exercise trying to do
Figure out which leg is which. Yeah. If it matters, I'll tell you. All right, let's do a side step here. Start to bring in those hip abductors. Those muscles that abduct the leg from the middle of the body. And the adductors as we bring them in. Right? I think it's the wind and the internet that keeps dropping my phone out here, so. Do as Simon says, or every time the music stops, we stop. Maybe not. All right, let's come back with our feet a little bit wider than hip width. We're gonna do real shallow squats just to start moving these muscles here. So we're gonna come down and up just to start moving the legs a little bit. Last little bit of our warm up here. Moving these big muscle groups of our legs is a good way to get the heart pumping. Do a few more. And so for today's workout, you're gonna have a strength exercise with the band and then a cardio exercise. So we'll do the strength, cardio, and then go through it again, strength, cardio, and then move on to the next. So let's go ahead and grab our band. I'll explain both parts of the exercise before we get going. So the first one is going to be a lunge with a bicep curl. So I'll show you the full exercise and then I'll give some modifications for you. So with this, you're going to bring the band under the front foot here and find a good lunge where this front knee is right over the ankle. It doesn't have to be a super long lunge, so you can have this back leg as far back as you feel comfortable and stable. Your heel can be down, or you can be on the ball of your foot. And then with the curls, you're just gonna come up and release down. All right? Now with this, if you get going and you're like, okay, this is maybe a little bit too hard, or too easy. If you have an option to move down in the band, if it's too hard, you can do that. And that way you'll have that for the rest of the class. And if it's a little bit too hard and you don't have something to move down to, then just focus on the arm movement, okay? If you're doing this seated, you can place the band under your front foot here, or choose a foot so you can really ground this foot down and do the pulls this way, all right? Now, these are a little bit harder to work with as far as like making them a little bit easier or harder on this particular exercise. So if you're only coming up maybe halfway and not all the way to the shoulders, that's okay, as long as we're engaging this muscle here and keeping it nice and slow and controlled. So we don't want to be pulling it so fast that we're not actually getting the benefit of the muscles. We want to go nice and slow and controlled, all right? Oh, that's great. There's music going all crazy all over the place today. And then we'll switch sides and do the other side. So the first set of cardio that we're going to do is going to be butt kickers, okay? So we're lifting the heels up behind us. And then we add in an arm swing for that, so that we open the arms wide every time we lift our heel up. For seated, I think I explained this the other day, if you've got short legs like me, you're more than welcome to bring them up under your seat. Or you can kind of come off to the side and do one side at a time and then switch, okay? Unless you got a skinnier chair and you're able to lift both off to the side. But that might be a little bit much for the hips and the knees. So you find a way where you can do that exercise And just to keep the feet moving, all right? If the butt kicks are not working in the chair, just march your feet, all right? The idea is just to keep moving and keep the heart rate up. All right, we're ready for our first strength exercise. So we're gonna find our lunge. That front knee is right over the ankle. Palms are facing forward with our straps. And then we're gonna lift up. Exhale as you pull. We got one more. All right, release. Let your arms rest for a second as you get that other foot prepared. Coming down into the lunge with that front knee over the ankle now. Nice stabilization here. We're going to take a deep breath in and exhale as we pull. Two more. All right, good. Now we can set these bands aside, and then we're gonna start moving our feet, getting ready for those butt kickers. Ready, and begin. Nice wide arms with every kick. You can do this at whatever speed you feel comfortable in. You wanna slow it down or speed it up.
Keeping up with the music.
Yes. I'm glad we didn't choose that. Let's stop every time the music stops. We're almost there. All right, and come back to your march. Grab a drink of water if you need before we start the next set. While you're moving your feet, I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on here.
Where's the moon? I think it's right here. Oh.
All right. So we're going to get ready for that second set of lunges. All right, so getting that strap set under the front leg, under the front foot rather. Back leg is nice and straight and strong. Prepping ourselves here, take a deep inhale and exhale to lift. Curling in, nice and controlled. One more. All right, give the arms a little bit of a break as you switch legs here. Taking a couple deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, we're gonna lift. So inhaling and then exhale to lift. One more. All right. And we're getting ready for our butt kickers here. And go. Lifting the arms out wide each time. easier to keep up with the music this time. Almost there. All right, come back to a march. If you need another drink of water, go ahead and grab one. I'm going to start explaining the second set here. All right. So this is going to be very similar as far as we're going to step on the front, except we're not going to use both arms here. So you're going to let the same side fall using the opposite arm. So my right leg is forward, my left arm is what's doing the pull. We're going to do a row. So my hand, and this is where you can kind of play with the length of your strap, since we're not using it on both sides. You're going to pull it straight back, keeping the elbow in. And you can stand more straight, or you can lean a little bit over this leg. If you find that standing up straight has a little bit too much tension, then tightening the belly and leaning forward slightly is going to release some of that tension and make it a little bit more accessible for you. Or you can simply make this strap a little bit longer if you want it to be easier. If it's too easy, then you just shorten it. This is one of those exercises where it is easier to modify going up or down a level. Seated is going to be very similar here. Bracing the strap, or the, what do you call it, band with your foot and pulling with the opposite arm, okay? And the key of this is, again, we're not bringing the arm out to the side. We're keeping it in close, all right? Using those muscles right around our shoulder blades in the back. So we'll do that, and then we'll switch sides. And then for the cardio on this one, we're going to be tapping behind us and punching in front of us. Same side or alternating, whichever is better for your balance, okay? As long as you're going to switch it up. So you can alternate like that, or you can do same side. The same side is going to test your balance a little bit more, okay? Because you're not going to have this counterweight reaching forward. So try it same side, and if you start losing your balance, try alternating, okay? Just like with the other one, you have the option here of either tapping the toe under the chair, marching your legs, and just doing the punches, tapping out to the side, just moving your body, okay? Just get your legs and arms moving, and then this front punch is going to help with your shoulder extension here, all right? Okay. So, lunging with the rows. So we'll start on one side. Remember, we're pulling with that opposite arm.
How far do we, what are we putting?
You're stopping right at your rib cage. Your hand is by your rib.
I'm opposite on it.
Yeah, so you want to grab the strap or that. Yep, that's perfect. So just like we did with the first lunge, this front knee is right over the ankle. All right, now you can shorten or lengthen your stance with your back foot. Make sure that you've got a little bit of tension to start with this so that you get the pulling action the whole way through. All right, and let's pull. All right, exhaling every time we row in. One more here. All right. And now we're going to switch sides. So again, find that brace of the front foot over the strap. Knee comes over the ankle. And you're holding with this opposite hand here. All right. So take a deep breath in. And then pull back. So we're pulling through our elbow. Our elbow is leading the way here. One more here. All right, good job. Now for the back taps with the punch. All right, so we'll begin just marching our feet. All right, and we're gonna begin here, so tap and punch. Keep the body moving. Push the fist out in front of you. You can do this at your own speed, right? You can slow it down if you need. You can speed it up if you want. Work on that coordination. Yeah. We're almost done here. And come back to a march. All right. Grab a drink if you need. And then we're gonna do one more set here with our roads. All right, so you position your first foot, taking hold of this band with your opposite hand here. So we've got the front leg and the opposite arm here holding. And then we're gonna pull back. One more. All right. And we'll go on to the other side here. All right, so we're gonna take a deep inhale and then exhale to pull. One more. All right. One more time with those jabs and your step backs or your toe taps, right? Figure out which way was easier for you, whether it's the opposite arm or not, and then begin. This wind was so crazy this morning at my house. My front windows were rattling. Looked at the wind chill, it was like 20 degrees, even though it says it's 35 out.
There's so much snow on the roof. Just driving south.
I know
That's
it.
where I came in.
Saw clumps of snow on the road too, falling off cars.
I used to hate it when we're behind people and didn't clear their roofs.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. It broke the
5 more
windshield.
seconds. Oh, man, broken windshield, you said?
Ice
Goodness.
coming up.
Yeah, you gotta clean your cars off. All right, come back to a march.
There's actually a law in this state, it's called Maria's Law. It has to do with unsecured loads which includes snow and ice on top of the vehicle. You are held liable for any damage.
That's good to know.
Remember that?
Yeah. You put money in the equation, it makes a lot more punch, you know?
Yeah.
And they didn't have a little kid to put on there and.
All right, so this next set here, this one is one that I found out I have to modify a little bit. So this one is another one where you're gonna kind of step on it with the opposite leg. The strap is gonna go on the outside of the foot. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna start by that hip that's holding on to the strap, and then you're gonna pull up across. All right? So this is the sword pull. You're taking your sword out of its sheath. You're pulling the elbow, again, leading through the elbow, up. Now, if your shoulder, like mine, is giving me a little bit of complaint here, just loosen that up a little bit. You're gonna notice that if you do loosen it and you have a little bit of slack here, you're gonna wanna start a little bit bent so that you have the resistance the whole way through, because this transition between slack and tight can be a little bit jarring if you're not used to it. All right, so that's gonna be the strength exercise. We're gonna do these diagonal pulls. The other thing that we're gonna do for cardio is gonna be, I don't know exactly what she wants here. She says the X-Men exercise. Do any of you know that?
We hate it.
You hate it? Okay. I was gonna sub in jumping jacks. It sounds like that's probably a better idea. I'll figure out what the X-Men exercise is another day. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
And then back.
Let's do jumping jacks. I don't think I can teach that one yet.
Mix it in.
I was thinking in my head, I'm like, jumping jacks, right? X. So, we'll do that. Next time I teach this class, I'll do it the right way. But today we're gonna modify a little bit. So you can do a full jumping jack, right? You can step the feet out to the side as you lift your arms and just alternate which side you're lifting out. You can do this seated and just step the feet out one at a time. If you have balance on your chair and you want to work your core, you can step both feet out at the same time, all right? If you know the X-Men routine and want to do that, you're more than welcome to, okay? All right.
Only Kathy.
So let's begin with this sword pull, right? So we're gonna place the strap underneath one foot here, letting the strap be outside here on the outside of the foot. And then you're gonna pull from the side that's on the outside, from the opposite hand. There we go. That's a little bit tricky to teach. So again, I'm getting used to teaching band routines here. So we're gonna take a deep inhale and then pull up. Exhale every time you pull. Again, you're leading with your elbow. We got 2 more. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. You can either drop one and step and grab the other side here, or you can reposition the band altogether. Again, the band, the side that you're holding is gonna come up on the outside of your foot, so that when you're pulling, you're not pulling it through underneath, right? And you're gonna take a deep breath in and exhale to pull.
Other way.
One more. All right. Let the strap come off to the side as we prepare for our jumping jacks here. Ready and begin. You have about 10 more seconds left. All right, come back to a march. All right. Take a few seconds to grab a drink.
So there's a reason to take a drink other than just being thirsty, right?
stay hydrated. To flush the system out from the lactic acid that we're building up with our muscles. To keep the body doing its natural cool down process so we don't overheat, just like adding coolant to a car. Man, there's a lot of reasons.
Take a break. That's a good way.
Taking a break, yeah, let me figure out why my music switched to the cool down song already.
It's a sign.
It's not time, it's not time, we got time yet. All right, let's do one more of those rows here. Or, I'm sorry, the sword pulls. All right. So we're gonna start by grounding our foot. We're holding on with the opposite hand, remember. And then you're gonna wanna switch the band to the outside of your foot there.
I knew that.
Yeah. There's a lot to keep track of with these band exercises. That's gonna be too tight for me, all right. So take a deep inhale and exhale to pull. Two more. All right. Switching over to the other side now. So the other foot is holding on. Opposite hand is doing the pulling. We just make sure that strap here is on the outside of our foot. Take a deep breath in and exhale to pull. You got the system down right there. Two more. All right. One more set of jumping jacks, our modified X-Men. And remember, you can modify this, you can do it at whatever pace you want to get your heart rate up. And we're gonna begin here. And remember, marching your feet is always an option. We got about 5 more seconds left. And relax. Keep moving the body. We want to keep the heart rate up a little bit until we start our cool down, just so our bodies aren't doing this roller coaster of heart rate, right? All right. So this next exercise, our strap is going to come behind our back. Now, these straps, unless you're real tall, are probably going to be too short to hold on to the handles. So we hold on here on the band. And this might be another one where after you do one or two, you might have to adjust where you're holding on. But we're going to combine a cross punch like this with a squat, okay? So, again, I'm going to show you the full exercise, then I'm going to break it down for you. All right, so the band is right underneath our armpits here. Feet are a little bit wider apart for that squat. As we come down, we're going to come down, we're going to come up and punch. So it's going to squat and then alternate. All right, so as we do this, what I want you to focus on, a couple things. Butt goes back, knees stay behind the toes, all right? If you think you're doing this, go ahead and put a chair behind you and keep the backs of your legs right up against the chair, okay? So that you know how far you're going back. And then you're not gonna be afraid that you're gonna fall if you lose that balance or strength. From seated, you can do a couple different things. You can either put the weight in your heels and stand all the way up, sit down and punch, or you can just put the weight into your heels, keeping your bottom on the chair, and then punching as you come up. Now again, if you're going to cross punch and you're finding that you can't extend the arm all the way, go ahead and, loosen up a little bit. Maybe grab a lighter strap if you need to. Or if you're needing a little bit of a break, just do the movement, all right? Really focusing on control and engaging the muscles as you punch across. So that is gonna be our strength. For the cardio on this round, we're gonna have our feet kind of wide apart here, and we're gonna kind of step back and forth between the two, all right? And as we do this, we're gonna pull the hands back, kind of like an air row, all right? Now, you can keep the foot in the air like I was just doing as you're pulling, right? Use it as a little bit of an ab crunch here. Or you can just fully step side to side, all right? Maybe you're even just shifting your weight, okay? There's a lot of different ways to modify that cardio work here. And then if you're seated, step out to the side, all right? What this is gonna do is it's gonna engage those abductors again. If you choose to do the high knee option here, as you lift the knee, you're pulling back. So you're engaging your core and your shoulder back here, all right? So you get to pick which intensity you want to do for that one. But first comes the squat and the cross punch, all right? So our hands are on our straps here. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width, toes pointed out just slightly, all right? We're gonna come down and we're gonna punch. Remember, you can come down as low as you feel comfortable. You don't have to come down as low as me. You don't even have to come down as low as your maximum squat is, all right? Take it day by day and figure out what's gonna be the best for you. One more on each side. All right. Now for the steps with the arm pullbacks, okay? So you pick your version here. And we're gonna start on one side and then step across and pull. Remember, high knee adds a little bit of intensity to it. Otherwise, just step side to side. Almost there. And go ahead and march. Just move your feet, grab a drink. All right. One more set of those squats here. Finding our nice foot position. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width. If you're seated, make sure your weight is in your heels. Standing too, actually, weight is in the heels. All right, take a deep breath in. Come down, exhale up and push. Inhale down, exhale up and push. One more each side. All right. Getting ready for our side steps with the possible high knees and the arm pullbacks. All right, and go ahead. It always takes me about 3 seconds to figure out what the movement actually is when I start doing it. And that's part of this exercise class too, is working the muscles of the brain, coordination.
Just keep the balls in the.
Yeah. I gotta strengthen those muscles a bit more. That's one of the things that I have really appreciated about subbing this class. It's getting me better and stronger every day too. We are almost there. All right, come back to a little march here. The other day, I taught a yoga class that was all about stretching the front of the body, because we do everything in front of us, so we get this rounded position. And I talked a little bit about that with you guys the other day. Ooh, I'm losing my microphone here, sorry. And one of the things about doing that is like being vulnerable, because we find a protective place when we curl up on ourselves. And I always have to remind myself, like, have I tried something new in a while? No, I better. always looking for change, right? All right, if you haven't grabbed a drink, you can do so. I'm gonna start explaining the second, the next exercise here. I think we've got time for one more set here. All right. With this one, we're gonna hold the band in front of us. And we're gonna hold it kind of close to our bodies. Elbows out. And then as we pull the band, we're gonna retract our shoulders and squeeze our shoulder blades together. All right, so we're putting a little bit of tension in the front here and squeezing our shoulder blade. As we do that, we're gonna do another like side tap thing here, all right? So if you're seated, just tap those feet out to the side while you're pulling in front, focusing on the shoulder blades. So if you're not using your strap, it's still just this motion, all right? You can just think about those movements. If you decide that you're done with your strap for the day, this is the last strap exercise though. And then, yeah, so I keep calling it a strap because in yoga I have straps and these are bands. So you know what I mean. And the last cardio exercise that we're going to do after that is going to be cross knee and pull down with the arms. All right, so we're kind of like reaching across and pulling down. If you want to leave the legs out of this is just going to be this motion, all right? But if you want to add the knees in, you're going to cross over. All right, this is going to work the abs again, the obliques especially, because we're doing this twisting motion. Goodness gracious. I'll get it. By the time we get to the exercise, I'm going to have it in my mind of how it's going to be done.
We're all watching you.
I'm being graded. That's okay. I'm okay.
It's a good curve.
All right. So we're going to begin with this shoulder retraction, all right? So hands are in front of us here. Remember, we're going to add this little side tap. So as we tap, we pull, and then we release, all right? Squeezing the shoulder blades behind us. Really nice and controlled movements. Notice we're going a little bit slower here. One more each side. All right. We're done with these. All right. Now for my expertise on this cardio, all right? We're gonna reach with the opposite arm, lift that opposite knee. Now that I've got the movement down, I'm gonna speed it up. You guys go at whatever speed you need to today. Just keep your heart up. This is the last time that we're gonna be bringing that heart rate up, all right? We're gonna slow it down after this. Remember, you can choose to just do the arms if you want. About 10 more seconds. You guys got this. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Yes.
Grab a drink. Walk it out. Let the hips move a little bit. Maybe sway them from side to side. Now that I want my music to slow down, it's not gonna. All right. So let's just start moving the hips around in a circle. Nice and slow, just to start stretching these muscles out on the sides. Maybe go in the other direction now. All right, now we're gonna come into another lunge, but this is for a stretch, okay? So if you're doing the cool down all the way seated here, I'm just gonna bring one foot behind you and let that knee drop down, just lengthening the front of one side. We're doing this standing. You're gonna be on the ball of the back foot. Just let that back hip kind of sink down. You can hold on to something for support if you want to. Just feel that stretch right here in the hip flexor, all right? All those knee lifts are coming from our hip flexor, so we want to make sure to give it some love and stretch it out a little bit. Take one more deep breath here. And then release. If you're in your chair, go ahead and scoot to the other side of your chair so you can let the other leg come off. If you're standing, let that other leg come back. Again, you're on the ball of that foot. Just lengthening the front part of this hip as much as you can. Tight hip flexors are a part of having a tight low back, which I know that 9 out of 10 people that I talk to have a tight low back. This is a really good stretch for you. One more breath here. And release. All right, let's bring one arm across. Let the other elbow hook underneath. Just pull that arm across with your forearm. You can choose maybe to look over that shoulder a little. And then switch sides. And release. Let's take some circles with the arms, nice and slow. And then go in the other direction here. All right. Then if you have a seat, go ahead and take a seat. Scoot more towards the edge of your chair as we get ready for those hamstring stretches. So you're going to lengthen one leg out with the toes pointing up. Let one hand rest on your bent knee. Lift the other arm up. And then exhale as you lean forward, taking that hand to your lower leg or maybe even your foot. Lengthening your back. The more you curve your back, the less stress you're the less stretch you're gonna get. So if you lift your chest and head up, straightening the back a little bit, you should feel that stretch real nice there. In the hamstring, yep, right in the back here. You may also feel it in the calf. And if your low back is super tight, you might feel it there too, because the backbone is connected to the hamstring. All right, lift back up. No, I could get real technical with you guys about how everything is connected there. We'll go into the other side. Bracing on the bent leg, other arm lifts up, and then reach forward and lower down. So the posterior chain is really important, and that comes from the back muscles, the erectors that go on either side of the spine. Then you've got your hip flexor that actually does attach from the low back through the pelvis to the front of the thigh. That's why that low lunge actually helps the low back, because we get to stretch it from the front, okay? Then the hamstring and the calf in the back. That's why lifting your toes up brings all of that stretch a little bit tighter too. One more breath here. And we're gonna lift up. All right, let's scoot towards the back of our chair now, getting ready for another hip flexor and those abductor muscle releases here. So you can either cross one leg over the ankle, or if you have the mobility, you can bring the ankle over the knee. We start with gentle pressure around the knee to open it up, whether it's at your ankle or your knee here. And then if you want to increase the stretch, just lean the body weight forward. Again, the longer and straighter the spine, the more intense that stretch is going to be for you. Take one more deep breath here. And then release. Now, as we talked about, the hips are very uneven usually, so we start by crossing at the ankle. If you have the mobility on this side, you'll lift the ankle over the knee, starting with the gentle pressure around the knee. And then if you want to increase that stretch, you lean the body forward, keeping the back nice and long.
What is stretching?
It's a little bit of your hip flexor through the back. It's also a little bit of your glute. So you'll feel it in the glute here. You'll also feel it on the outside of your thigh. So those hip abductors. And depending on what muscles are tight in your body, I've had some people say they even feel it in the front here, where that's more almost like the quadricep or adductor in here. So different people feel it different ways, but primarily the abductor and the glute. Yeah. I don't feel it in the adductors, but a lot of people do, for sure. Hips are a very unique thing for every individual, and release. All right. Maybe let the knees rock a little bit from side to side, release some of that pressure. A couple more stretches and then we are all set, okay? Let's take hold of the bottom of our chair. Look up, reach the chest forward. And then as you exhale, tuck the chin down and round the back. Use your chair to kind of pull you down a little bit. You're going to feel a stretch in between the shoulder blades and through the back. And then inhale as we reach the chest forward and look up again. And exhale, curl in. Return back up to neutral. We're going to take a twist. So one hand comes to the back of your chair. The other hand comes to the outside of the thigh, and this one on the back of the chair can be anywhere that feels comfortable for you. You're gonna inhale to sit tall, and then exhale to twist. As we stretch out some of the muscles along our spine, we offer a little bit more space in between the vertebrae for some of the synovial fluid to come back in and lubricate the joints.
I like the slow music.
I try to give you guys a little bit of variety, but yeah, I like to coordinate the music with what we're doing. Inhale to sit as we go into the other direction. Exhale to twist, using the hand on the outside of the other thigh now to give you a little gentle press. And release. Now take just a few moments, sit back in your chair all the way so your back can rest. Let your hands rest on top of your legs. Close the eyes. Bring the shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze them back behind you and down. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let's do that one more time, letting go of any remaining tensions or stresses. Take this moment to relax and appreciate all of your efforts and accomplishments today. Inhale as you open the eyes, reach the arms up for one last little stretch, and bring yourself into a hug. From me to you. Thank you guys for sharing another Monday morning with me, and we will see you on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Emily.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Are you trying to ask something, Susie? I can't hear you very well.
Never mind. Never mind, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Thanks, Emily.
Have a good one. Kathy said to tell
I never know
everybody
what
hi,
I'm doing.
doing really well.
Oh, thanks for the update. Great.
Hi to Gwen.